This day in 1923, the Olympics the thing. Archived newspaper article. Before planes whisked people around the world in a day, travelers sailed to their destinations on large ocean liners. Shipping companies such as the Cunard Line and the White Star Line competed with each other to build the largest, most luxurious ships. Today, the Times Archives presents a 1923 feature article about one of the most glamorous of all seagoing vessels, the Olympic. London, June 24, 1923. As the White Star Liner, Olympic, shoved off from New York last Monday, I stood on its giant deck and gazed at the open sea. I've traveled on big ships before, but never one quite so big. I felt small on its sprawling decks, and a bit in awe of the vessel's size. I stood quietly. The enigma of the ocean and the equally mysterious grandeur of the gigantic boat surrounded me. For a time, the Olympic was the largest ocean liner in the world. She was matched once by her sister ship, the doomed Titanic. The Olympic has been plying the seas since her maiden voyage in 1910. In World War I, she entered military service. She transported troops about the Atlantic. Incredibly, the Olympic was the only merchant vessel to sink an enemy warship during the war. She rammed a German submarine, the U-103, and sent it underwater for good. That was 5 years ago, in the spring of 1918. Today on the Olympic, the war is ancient history. Happy passengers wander the ship. Linger in one spot, and you may be waylaid by a passenger who wants a partner for a game of that great racket sport, squash, or for shuffleboard. There's a great diversity of food, with English, French, and American cuisine on the menu. A variety of beverages is also available for guests to slake their summer thirst. Open-air settings provide the illusion of relaxing at a Mediterranean cafe. At every turn, there's another surprise, another lounge, another entertainment. I've made several trips between the library and the swimming pool, and I've vowed to visit the gym before we get to England. I'm sure I will, just as soon as that infuriating fellow with the squash racket stops irritating me and sits down for a bite to eat. Perhaps he'll trot off somewhere to gloat about his latest score. The Turkish Baths are a favorite stop for many guests. This area has rooms of the most fantastic decoration. They are decked out from top to bottom. The floors and walls are dressed in colorful tiles. The decoration is so fine and abundant that any more would have been gilding the lily. What sage was it who knew to stop at this perfection? Each day I am motivated to return to the baths. All cares seem to wither away under the barrage of care and attention the attendants shower upon visitors there. If I could make it my vocation to wander the earth on ships like this, I'd queue up for the job without a moment's hesitation. But obligation restricts the choices we make. My life's work lies ashore. Tomorrow we'll arrive in Southampton, England. I'll tend to my business there and look forward to the return trip to New York. Then it's back to the usual routine. For the time being, I'm happy to report the sun is setting, the squash rackets are tucked away, and all's well on the Olympic.
The first word in Unit 3 is barrage. Barrage. Barrage is a noun meaning a rapid, large-scale outpouring. A barrage of hailstones as big as hen's eggs can easily shatter windows. Or, a barrage of cheers may greet the World Series champions. The next word is bigot. Bigot. Bigot is a noun meaning an intolerant, prejudiced person. Under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, even bigots have the right to free speech. Also, a fair-minded person may refuse to associate with a bigot. Word 3 is designate. Designate. Designate functions as two parts of speech. It can be used as a verb, meaning to indicate or to appoint. A person who is designated to drive after a party should not drink any alcohol before getting behind the wheel. Or Designate can be used as an adjective that means selected but not yet installed. An ambassador designate may testify before a congressional committee. The next word is diversity. Diversity. Diversity is a noun meaning difference or a condition of having many different types. The United States is a country of great ethnic and cultural diversity. Also, a science museum may be remarkable for the diversity of its hands-on exhibits. Word 5 is enigma. Enigma. Enigma is a noun meaning someone or something extremely puzzling, or something that cannot be understood or explained. British mathematicians and intelligence experts successfully broke the Nazis' Enigma coding system. And in 1939, Winston Churchill said that he considered Russia a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. The next word is gloat. Gloat. Gloat is a verb meaning to look at or think about with great intensity and satisfaction, or to take great personal joy in. A miser may gloat over his or her riches. Or, happy fans may gloat when their team wins the championship. Our next word is global. Global. Global is an adjective meaning of, relating to, or involving the entire world, or comprehensive. You may want to read the memoirs of a famous global traveler. Or, it is vital that we find a global solution to the problem of world hunger. Word 8 is illusion. Illusion. Illusion is a noun meaning a false idea or something that one seems to see but that really doesn't exist. A young person may have the illusion that she or he will live forever. Also, an artist may use perspective to give the illusion of depth on a two-dimensional surface. Let's move on to word 9. It is infuriate. Infuriate. Infuriate is a verb meaning to make very angry. A new biography may fascinate some readers, but infuriate others. And having to wait in a long line for movie tickets infuriates some people. Our next word is motivate. Motivate. Motivate is a verb meaning to provide with a reason for doing, or to push on to some goal. A novelist may be criticized for not adequately motivating her or his characters. Or, throughout history, the desire for fame and fortune has motivated many explorers. Word 11 is pacifist. Pacifist. Pacifist functions as two parts of speech. It can be used as a noun, meaning a person who is against war or violence. Alfred Nobel, the inventor of dynamite, was a pacifist. Or, in some countries, pacifists are not required to serve in the military. Pacifist can also be used as an adjective that means opposing war or violence. Anti-war demonstrators may carry signs bearing pacifist slogans. Next up is cue. Cue. Cue also functions as two parts of speech. It can be used as a noun meaning a line of people waiting for something. To a person in a hurry, the queue for taxis at an airport may seem to move too slowly. Or, queue can be a verb that means to form such a line. In kindergarten, children learn to queue up by height. Word 13 is restrict. Restrict. Restrict is a verb meaning to keep within set limits or to confine. Your parents may restrict the number of hours you can watch television on school nights. And the office of President of the United States is restricted by the Constitution to citizens born in this country. The next word in Unit 3 is sage. Sage. Sage functions as two parts of speech. It can be used as an adjective meaning wise. The Founding Fathers gave us a government with a sage system of checks and balances. Or sage can be used as a noun that means a very wise person. Confucius was a philosopher, teacher, and sage who lived in China about 2,500 years ago. Or, King Solomon was renowned as a sage and as a poet. Let's move on to word 15. It is slake. Slake. Slake is a verb meaning to satisfy, relieve, or bring to an end. People going on a long hike may take along some trail mix to slake their hunger. And a person may have a desire for knowledge that no amount of study can slake. Our next word is terrain. Terrain. Terrain is a noun meaning the landscape or a field of knowledge. A vehicle the size of a microwave oven was used to explore the terrain of Mars. Or, a person may take an adult education course that covers unfamiliar terrain. Word 17 is vocation. Vocation. Vocation is a noun meaning a trade, profession, or occupation, or a sense of special calling for one's work. Guidance counselors help students explore vocations that may suit their interests and abilities. Also, a person who loves animals may have a vocation for veterinary medicine. The next word is vow. Vow. Vow functions as two parts of speech. It can be used as a noun meaning a solemn or sacred promise. When immigrants become U.S. citizens, they take vows of loyalty to their adopted country. Vow can also be used as a verb that means to declare or promise in a solemn way. When taking the oath of office, a new president vows to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Word 19 is waylay. Waylay. Waylay is a verb meaning to lie in wait for and attack. During World War II, German submarines waylaid merchant ships crossing the Atlantic Ocean. And in the Old West, many a stagecoach was waylaid by bandits. And a candidate for public office may complain that he or she was waylaid by an opponent in debate. The last word in Unit 3 is wither. Wither. Wither is a verb meaning to dry up or sag, or to cause someone to feel ashamed or very small. A garden will wither if it does not receive adequate water. Also, when a person suffers a series of misfortunes, her or his spirits may wither. Let's review the words in Unit 3 once more. They are pronounced barrage, bigot, designate, diversity, enigma, gloat, global, illusion, infuriate, motivate, pacifist, cue, restrict, sage, slake, terrain, vocation, vow, waylay, wither. Well, that completes our work on the words in Unit 3. If you've had any difficulty pronouncing them, or if you feel you'd like a little more practice before you actually try using them, replay this section of the program.